just can't stop, won't stop hustling. But I just
Hightown Season 2, Episode 7, titled Crack is Wack. Let's get into it. Listen, man, this is easily shaping up to be one of my favorite shows. Just period, in general. I love the first season. I was wondering what direction they were going to take in the second season, and man, whew, the first two episodes kind of slow pacing, but man, they done ramped this shit up tenfold. Listen, we get a montage in the beginning of Charmaine and her sister when they first got to the cot, just saying how they were going to take over everything, and just she pointing at everything that's going to be it. And as you know, the last episode, her sister had an untimely demise because as she say, got stung by the bee, got into some bad product. So we see her in present day. She's on a bus. Guess going to go visit her uncle. And the bus driver asked her something, and she gave him a smart ass reply. Man, listen, I love her, man. I love her fearlessness as a character. I do fear that the fact that she doesn't have any muscle could probably be her downfall. Like she could easily get outpowered by one of the men in the show, and that's not to be sexist or anything, but she's a young girl. She's small in stature, and it's a dangerous game. It's a dog eat dog world. We go back and see Jackie is still hanging with her pops. We know this last episode she was going down a downward spiral. Nobody wanted to mess with her due to the recent events of episode 5. When she cussed everybody out because she got her heart broken. And last episode we see her looking like a lame pretty much. Listen, Jackie, man, don't beg for nobody love or affection or anything like that, because at the end of the day, motherfuckers don't deserve you. They don't. That sounds like something a scorned woman would say. But no, seriously, I thought Jackie was a little stronger than this due to the fact last season she was kind of like a womanizer. I mean, she's a woman, but she was a womanizer. She was doing everything. But you see her and her dad playing catch on the beach. She got Timbs on. That's the first thing I remember. Like, why is she wearing Timberlands on the fucking beach? But yeah, she's full drunk mode. They're wasted, and I'm like, her dad is just no good. We see Ray jogging. He's still got the tracker on Renee's car. We see Renee cooking up some Thanksgiving dinner. And she's getting badgered by, I'm guessing it's either her mom or I'm guessing that's her mom, because the lady isn't Hispanic, so it got to be her mom. So her mom is badgering her. Oh, you know what you're doing? And you see my boy sitting on the couch not doing a damn thing. Frankie like, I ain't doing it. You see she get a text from Ray. He texted her when she was jogging. And then the mom gonna say, "Who is that?" I'm like, yo, who says that? Like, what are you worried about my phone for? We even see Frankie look back like, who was that? And you see he's still on edge about his cousin. The son comes in playing, and he just reacts kind of violently for something that was so simple. So you could tell he's definitely been being bothered. We see that the son, I hate this. I ain't gonna say I hate him, but he ain't really my favorite. The guy, the captain of who took over. I just can't. He is one of them corny ass black dudes, man. I understand his intentions are good, whatnot, but he's just, I don't know, man. I don't know how to say it. Captain Centel, whatever his name, Sergeant, I don't know what he is. But you see, he's doing Thanksgiving dinner, the prayer, and his wife is visibly getting upset with him, which I thought was hilarious because I was getting tired of him. Like, come on, dude, I want to eat. We see he gets a call right during dinner, and I'm like, man, that sucked. You can't even enjoy the Thanksgiving dinner without getting called. They happen to find Jorge's car, his Monte Carlo, and I like this car because one of my best friends actually had a car like this. We actually got it in one of our music videos I'm gonna put out. He got a burnt orange one, but it was just like that Monte Carlo SS. And I'm like, oh, they done found his body. That's the first thing I'm thinking. Like, oh, they done found him. Oh, it's going down. But they do have video of the car getting dropped off. The cop obviously knows it's not Jorge. He knows because his stature and how he walks. So they're like, yo, did you pop the trunk? And they're like, no, we don't have a warrant. And he's like, oh, what's that? And they popped the trunk, and I'm like, oh, they about to find him. And then they didn't find him. I'm like, okay, luckily they didn't put his body in the trunk. They hid it. They put it somewhere else. But that was just a whole crazy situation in itself. I didn't expect Jorge to go out that early in that fashion. But that's how stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? We see Jackie out at a bar with her pops, and they getting wasted. Still, I'm like, yo, how do people just drink all day? Like, and it's sad to see Jack like this from where she came. She came a long way. You know what I'm saying? And to see her just going backwards, just all over. Somebody who really wasn't. I'm not gonna say deserving, but she knew what it was. And I don't know why Jackie put her all in emotions into something which she was told up front was gonna be what it was. You know what I'm saying? And that's Jackie problem. She just looking for love. And I'm not gonna say a problem, but that's what she is. She's looking for love in all the wrong places. And she thought she had something, and at the end of the day, it wasn't what it was. So we see them at the bar, and we see the pop side chick comes in, and this is a mangled ass chick, and she's feeling all on her. He's like, hey, this is my daughter. And Jackie's like, "Oh, does mom know who you've been sleeping with?" And you're like, "Man, it's complicated." You know what I'm saying? But the pops he is not a nice person. I don't want to talk uh, about somebody in a derogatory way, but man, he's a horrible person. And I guess Jack is just trying to come to get some understanding, but at the same time, she really doesn't have anybody else to run to or talk to. But they had a long discussion just about life and whatnot, and he ordered more drinks or whatnot, and the lady invites, and she's hanging out with both of them now. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. We see Osito sitting in the jail like he's kingpin, which he pretty is. He pretty much running that thing. He got everything going on and in check. And sorry, I'm listening. I'm watching my note. If you wonder why I keep looking, because I'm recapping the episode as we're talking in my notes. But we see him meet up with the his counselor, and she's like, "Yo, why did you give me the car?" And he pretty much like, "Yo, I look out for my friends," and he pretty much manipulating her. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing they tell you when you sign on as a you can't do no inmates favors because it becomes a debt, and they think you owe them. If you watch the Mayor of Kingstown, which is a good show, it's kind of the same thing. One of the CEOs did a favor for one of the inmates, and he thought he owed them. You know what I'm saying? And that's how shit works. But she's saying, yo, I can't keep the car. And she decides to give it back to him, or not give it back to him. But she's saying she can't get rid of him. But he smooth talks her, and he gives her the whole spill, and she's like, "What does that mean?" At the end of the day, she winds up giving him a warning that they're about to be raiding the cells. So I'm like, yo, that's pretty sweet. You know what I'm saying? He got a good ally and shit, and it's beneficial to her. She needed a guy. He looked out for it. I'm like, oh, that's dope. That's dope. We see old girl going to meet up with her Camilla going to meet up with her Charmaine. I'm sorry. She's going to meet up with her Uncle Wayne. And man, this was some good dialogue right here. Now, if you know Wayne from Oz back in the day, he used to play a guy called Poet. He was always fucking doing poems and shit in jail. Great actor, great actor. But he's like, yo, where's my niece at? And she had to break the news to him, and he's sad, he's down. But he gives her a speech because she's ready to like quit it all and be done with it. And he like, man, he just was like, listen, you got the top spot now. He was like, you could look at it like a disadvantage or loss. I know you lost someone that hurts, but now you ain't got no weakness. Can't nobody hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nobody that really could hurt you. You done made it this far. You got to keep this going. And the way he was saying it, though, I was like, oh, he's spitting right now. He is spitting. We see Jack hanging with her pop still and his side chick. Listen, she's with a guy named Petey. That's the drug dealer guy who they're getting her stuff from. He's played by Mark Boone Jr. I don't know if you remember him from Sons of Anarchy. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Great, great. Another seasoned veteran actor. And that's what I love about the show. They got a lot of seasoned veteran actors in the show, man. And they really put their foot forward down in a lot of these scenes and whatnot. And we see her, Jackie is indulging in doing bumps and coke now. And I'm like, Jack, what are you doing, dude? It's never that serious. And she's just so, yeah, I'll do it. I'm just like, and she's so in her element. That's what's sad about it. We see Renee goes to see my boy Ray and Renee sitting in the tree, KISSING, and they gonna you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna do the Uchi Coochie, my friend. Uh, and she goes over what she wants. She get her release. They get out. They have a little conversation, discussion. She still hasn't told the man she's pregnant yet. I don't know what she's waiting on. I don't know if she's gonna tell him at all. But she better figure out something quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I always love the interesting dynamic between these two, and it's crazy the fact that this is happening. But you can't help, I guess, who you love, and she did that man dirty though. So we'll see what happens with this. We see Jack playing the piano. She comes over, is talking to his dad's side chick. She turns the radio on and they're dancing, and she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my god, this is disgusting." And she's still doing, indulging in drugs and whatnot. They have her and her dad are bonding, but it's crazy that they're bonding over dysfunction. And you get to see, and he introduces her to crack. She's like, that's where the subject or the title of the show comes from. Crack is whack. She introduces him to crack. She takes a hit of the crack, and she's just gone. And I don't know if you ever did crack, but like I did. But no, I'm just kidding. I never did. Don't try to soundbite that either, nigga. I ain't never do no damn crack in my life. But what she does, they slip over to like another like a dream sequence, and she sees Daisy, um, and she's like, "Oh, so nobody cares that I'm dead." So I guess she knew right then and there Daisy was dead. She had like a premonition. She wakes up in the bed, goes downstairs. Her dad and the side chick are arguing with Petey because they want some more free stuff. He like, "No, I need some money." And dad comes to her and he's like, "Listen, you got anything you could give us?" And she's like, "Well, I ain't got that much." He's like, "Well, he likes you. Why don't you go upstairs with him and just take care of him?" And I'm like, "Are you serious, dude?" Like, I would have took if she had her service weapon, I would have recommend taking her service weapon out and just doing them, dude, because that was so foul. I'm like, yo, this is your dad, and he trying to sell you off for a habit. Like, that is crazy to me, man. You see her face, she like, and she goes on the porch, she's crying, and she winds up leaving and whatnot. She gives him the money, but she was just like, man, I see why I ain't messing with these people no more. Like, her dad is not a good person, man. Really a piece of shit. We see at the jail they get raided, and they don't find anything because of the tip. Osito's roommate is like, yo, how'd you do that? And I'm like, yeah, you got moved, motherfucker. Back at the club, we see Renee and Frankie talking, and Charmaine comes up to meet him, and he's just like, "Yo, let's talk," and she's like, "Yo, we could talk right here." I like that because she like, "No, if we gonna talk, let's be out in public," because like I said, her being small in stature, and being a girl, she has to just use everything to her advantage. So she's using her just in case he try anything. You know what I'm saying? Some intimidation tactics, might try to pull a gun out on her. She like, nah. And I like the fact that she just fearless. Like, she don't show no bitchness at all in her. Like, she like, it is what it is. But she like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with your cousin. Uh, and he like, yo, we gonna have to take a break. And she like, nah, not happening. We going business as usual. And this all from the prep talk she had with her uncle. And she don't even relinquish the fact that she lost somebody recently, because at the end of the day, it's not really their business. They just business partners. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's not even for him to know. But she's like, yo, if you don't do this, I'm gonna find somebody else that want to take over. So it's up to you. And he like, all right. And he has Renee taking over to do the day to day. So it's gonna be interesting seeing Charmaine and Renee communicating, and hopefully Renee doesn't kill Charmaine by accident, because we got a habit of she has a habit of doing that. We see Ray goes to I believe I don't know if it's the feds, and tells him he has some information about the case, um, and he needs some details, and he's trying to get in, wiggling his way in somehow, and um, dude not going for it at all. He don't give Ray no time of day. He like, yo, get the fuck out. I'm like, all right. So Ray went there strategically, pretty much to figure out what they knew, what they had anything. And right now, as it stands, Ray pretty much knows more than pretty much somewhat. There's a couple of things he don't know, and he's trying to elude. Like he's trying to play Renee that Jorge was a snitch, and she falls for it, which is weird because like you killed him. I don't know. It's weird. Uh, Jackie goes home. She showers. Tries to get her clean all her sins off. And we see that she calls her sponsor or somebody that she went to, one of them treatment centers with to kind of sponsor her. And right as she's talking, she gets a knock on the door, and it's none other than the person who caused her to have this downward spiral, which is Leslie. And Jackie gets awkward. Jackie don't really know what to say. Leslie's just trying to be professional. Like, yo, you've been off for you've been off for 3 days. You got to kind of communicate with me what's been going on. And Jackie's like, okay. And, she initially thought she was there to talk about them, and she's like, no, we got to talk about the case. And she's like, yo, you need to find Daisy. She ain't picking up, and she's just trying to inform her what's been going on. And pretty much she's just not trying to separate her brother lines. She just want to be she's want to be professional, but at the same time she is kind of, are you okay, like personally and shit. But I don't know. She don't know how fucked up she messed up Jack, man. Jack is an addict, so anything could trigger them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened. So Jack plays it off, and they wind up going in separate ways. She calls Daisy. Daisy didn't answer. She goes to Daisy's apartment. Winds up finding the spare key. Goes inside her house. And then I think she just right then and knew Daisy was dead. For the simple fact, like her cat was there. She hadn't fed the cat. And there was something else in there too. I'm trying to see. Just the fact that all her belongings were still there. Nothing was really moved or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So she put two and two together. It was like, yeah, she's gone. Then she finds her liquor cabinet, obviously, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how you gonna drink out of? This hurts my head. I feel bad for Jack, man. She was doing so good, but man, that monkey on your back is hard. That alcoholism monkey. We see. I don't know if this is a dream sequence. This has to be because prisoners aren't just allowed to walk free or roam free. Between Osito and his therapist Janelle. She's like, yeah, I gotta look out for my friends, and they wind up start kissing and shit. I'm like, nigga, this shit ain't real. This sequence ain't real. We see Ray and Renee meet up, and he's pretty much trying to sell her on the fact that Jorge is a snitch. And she like, freaks her out. Just pretty much what I talked about earlier. And I'm like, yo, is she falling for this shit? But who knows? Or maybe Jorge was a snitch. We don't know. I got weird vibes from him. But he tells her to find a tracker, which is honestly his. And she finds it, and she's like, oh my god, I'm like, oh my god. So we'll see what happens, man. With that, I don't know. That shit is weird. Very, very, very. But the fact, I don't know. I don't know how these two got back together, man. She just all in the open kissing the man. I'm like, yo, what's the name? Find out he gonna kick your ass. Um, we see her go back home, and Frankie's like, all right, yo, where you been? And she's like, I don't know where. And he's like, yo, come with me. And she's all worried. She thinks he's about to go and whack her, but that's not the case at all. He's actually taking her deep into the woods, and it's alluded that he's about to do something with her. At the same time, we see Jack goes to Ray's house, and she's pretty much telling him about the case and what's going on, and that her CI got killed. And Ray's kind of just matching notes with her. She goes to leave. He like, no, I can't let you drive like this. I don't want you to get another DUI. You stay here. I'll sleep on the floor. And straight like that, I'm like, ooh, they about to. No, I'm just playing. I never thought that at all. So he's like, putting the blanket and shit over her, and I'm like, oh man, this is weird. But these two they're more alike than a lot of people give them credit for. So they both got their issues they done dealt with. They both have their addictions. He's a sex addict. She's obviously alcoholic and drug addict. So, but they're similar in a lot of ways, and that's what made them work so well together in the first season. She tells Ray to come sit next to her, and they cuddle. And I'm like, this is weird, man. I would have had to make a move or something. But Ray's a gentleman, and his eyes are on Renee. At the same time, we see Frankie taking Renee out to the woods, and I'm like, oh, it's over for her. He found out. And they go to this little trailer. He's like, yo, go inside, and Renee knew it was over for her. Then this is Jorge's stash spot. Like if anything happened in this event, this is where he would go. Once he opened the vent and seen the money, he said, man, Jorge's dead. He knew right then and there his cousin was dead. Put the money back, and he said, listen. She's like, well, who you think did it? He was like, I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. And I'm like, oh man, this is. Yep. So he finally knows, and I'm like, buddy, I don't think you're gonna find out at all. But anyway, great episode, man. The last episode probably was my best of the season. It was a lot going on. Or was it? Hold on, was it last episode? Or the what episode when she killed Jorge when all them people was dying? That was good. I don't know. These last few episodes been great, man. This show is good. If you don't watch it, man, I recommend watching it. You got a whole 2 seasons you can watch. First season was great as well. This season is even more like I don't know. It's turned up. I like it. Post your comments below. Let's have a discussion about it. If you mess with it. If you like my review, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so we can do this again. And as always, peace, love, and prosperity. I go by the name of the Black Abstract. Thank you once again. Peace.